Now here in video 2, we're back in the shop, and I'm going to show you exactly how the slow jet works and how it's adjusted. I'll explain it in theory and also in practice. I'll go very slow so that I'm trying to think of a person that has never done this before and what I need to say. Remember this. In carburation, to control a thing, such as a carburetor or the engine, we have to fully understand it. There are plenty of books out here on carburation or on the net, and they all describe the same thing. Like I showed you different carburetors, and I have four of them, four right here. This is a Mikuni 28 flat slide. It's an OCO 30 Sudco, or a Kian 28, and a OCO 28. They're all a little different variation in castings, but they all do the same thing. They all have the same adjustments. Now, this is your pilot jet. Okay, you have a pilot jet and you have a main jet right there. Your pilot jet controls 0 to 1/4 throttle. Your main jet will go from 1/4 to full open. Now, adjusting this is a little tricky. These come in different sizes from, if you'll look, let's see, you'll see it has a number on it. Now, these can either be, the larger number can mean a larger size orifice or hole. So look at that. Yeah, you can see through it. And a smaller size may mean smaller. Alright, then we have to adjust it. Now people ask, well, it's just a little jet, what's the big deal about it? Well, I'll tell you if it's not working right. This is what happens. You will gun your throttle like this, and all of a sudden it'll go and then it'll go wide open. It will stutter on you. Now, if you're taking off from a stoplight or outrunning cops or the German police, you don't want your bike stuttering. That's what happens when you don't have it adjusted right. There is only one adjustment, and you can see the screw right here. This right here, both of the pilot jet and the main jet are stuck in the float bowl full of fuel. This controls your pilot jet. Now, what it controls is the air that goes into the mixture. And like I've always stated, okay, it'll say right here, running condition, mixing ratio by weight, fuel, air. Your starting should be 1 part fuel to 3 parts air. Your idling, which is what we're dealing with, should be 8 to 10. Okay, now wide open, your heavy load running should be 12 to 14, 1 to 12 to 14, 1 part fuel to 14 parts air. So we're not adjusting the big jet, we're adjusting the pilot jet. Now, if you have too much fuel or too much air going through the jet, it makes it stutter, and we can't have that. Now, that being said, and this is going to be definitely a few part, remember, we got to back up for just one moment. This is a Dio SR50 engine case, and I brought it out for a reason. Now, when you get your carburetor on here, say you get your carburetor on right here, okay, your air and your air fuel are mixed here. They go into your intake with your reed valves here. They go into the engine and then they come back out. Let's consider this engine to be an air pump. All engines are air pumps. They pump air and fuel through them. But the one trick about this, now this is understanding theory, is that you can have no leaks in your air pump. Okay, these are where the case halves come together. This is where air can leak. Air doesn't leak out, it leaks in. Okay, and I'll get to that. This is another spot where it can leak. Right around here. Air leaks in. Another spot is right here where it connects. Now, the carburetor is a metering device. You're on your idle, right? Right now, okay, your bike is idling. Now I'll do this when I get my other bike running. Your bike is idling. What it should do with a sealed air pump is the pilot jet lets in a certain amount of air and fuel. That motor should idle all day long. Okay, if your motor cannot hold an idle, okay, no amount of adjusting that car will make it work. If it doesn't hold an idle, then you probably have a leak, and this is the way you can tell. If you start your bike and it works fine, okay, and then it works fine for a couple minutes, then it starts to stutter, da-da, 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 da, and then it stops. What's happening is your air and fuel mixture is being contaminated by more air that's coming in through the leaks. Now what this does is, now think about it, more air and less gas lean the mixture out, so that as time goes on, you have more air and less gas, and your engine leans out and stops. The way to fix that is get yourself a spray bottle right here, put some soap and water in it, and as the engine's running, go around all the places it could leak, and if you see air bubbles, then you got a leak. Okay, now say if it doesn't have a leak, then we'll go on to adjusting the air fuel.